Chapter 9. Simple Machines. Sometimes it is difficult to do work with our hands, and we use certain machines or tools for our help. Machines make our work easier, and nowadays, we are almost dependent on them for doing every work. A machine can be defined as a tool which helps us to make our work easier by applying lesser force, effort, to overcome a larger force, load. There are two types of machines: simple machines and complex machines. A simple machine is a machine which has very few parts. It helps us in the following ways. It uses a reduced effort to overcome a load. It increases the force applied. It changes the direction of force applied. A scissors, a tong, and a wheelbarrow used by a gardener are some examples of simple machines. A complex machine is a machine which uses more than one simple machines working together. For example, refrigerator, washing machine and car are some complex machines. Let us learn about some simple machines used by us in our daily life. A simple machine can be of the following 6 types: lever, wheel and axle, pulley, inclined plane, screw and wedge. Lever. A lever is a machine consisting of a long rigid rod free to move about a fixed point. It consists of 3 parts: fulcrum, effort and load. Fulcrum, F. This is the fixed point about which the rod moves. It has got a support against which the rod is pushed. Effort, E. The force that is applied on the rod to do the work is called effort. Load, L. It is the object which has to be moved, cut or lifted by the effort. Depending on the position of these parts, lever can be of 3 types: first-class lever or first-order lever, second-class lever or second-order lever, and third-class lever or third-order lever. First-class lever. In this class, the fulcrum lies in between the load and the effort. For example, a pair of scissors, a claw hammer, a pliers and a seesaw are first-class levers. Second-class lever. In this class, the load lies in between the fulcrum and the effort. A wheelbarrow, bottle opener and a nutcracker are examples of this class. Third-class lever. In this class, the effort lies in between the load and the fulcrum. For example, a pair of tongs, tweezers and fishing rod are third-class levers. Wheel and axle. In wheel and axle, a wheel is attached to a rod called axle at its center. In a way, both wheel and axle are fixed. When the wheel is rotated, the axle also rotates. All the vehicles move due to the wheel and axle arrangement. This arrangement makes it easy to move heavy objects. Steering wheel of vehicles, roller skates, sewing machines and pedals of bicycles are examples of this arrangement. Pulley. A pulley has a wheel with a grooved rim and a rope or belt running around it. A pulley can be fixed or movable. Fixed pulley. A single fixed pulley makes it easier to lift a load. In this, the wheel is fixed to a support. One end has the load tied to it, and the effort is applied at the other end. For example, lifting a bucket of water from the well is made easier by the use of this pulley. Here, bucket is tied to one end of the rope, and the effort is applied at the other end of the rope. Our work becomes easier here as the direction of force gets changed. To lift the bucket up, we have to apply effort in the downward direction. In a fixed pulley, effort equal to the load has to be applied. A flagpole also uses fixed pulley for hoisting a flag. Movable pulley. In this pulley, the wheel moves with the load. The effort required to lift a load gets reduced by half. This uses a combination of fixed and movable pulleys. Such pulleys are generally used at construction sites to lift very heavy loads like bricks or at docks. Fact file. Egyptians were probably the first ones to use levers and pulleys. They used these simple machines while constructing the pyramids to lift heavy stones. Inclined plane. An inclined plane is a sloping surface which makes it easier to push a heavy object up, instead of lifting it directly. It uses a less steep slope, which means a larger distance to be covered. Escalator, ramp, slide and sloping plank used to load heavy boxes in a truck are examples of inclined plane. Fact file: it would be very difficult for vehicles to climb up a hill if the roads were very steep. That is why the roads on the hills are built to have gradual slopes, though the distance covered by the vehicles is more but is easier through gradual slopes. Screw. A screw is an inclined plane coiled around a pole making a spiral. Its spiral is called thread. It is used to hold things together. For example, a screw is inserted into a wooden plank with the help of screwdriver to make cupboards as it holds things together firmly. The screw jack used to lift car, bus or truck to change their wheel uses the concept of screw. When the handle of the jack is turned around, the screw of the jack also turns around, hence lifting the vehicle. Activity: to prove that a screw is an inclined plane, take a colored paper and cut it into a right triangle to form an inclined plane. Color the edge of the inclined plane. Now wrap the paper around a pencil or nail as shown in the figure. You can see the colored inclined edge forming the structure of a screw. Wedge. A wedge is made up of at least two inclined planes which meet at a sharp edge. It is used to cut or split things. One of its ends is generally thick or blunt and the other end is the sharp, cutting edge. Razor, axe and knife are examples of a wedge. Things to remember. To make our work easier, we use machines. Machines can be simple or complex. There are 6 types of simple machines we use in our daily life: lever, wheel and axle, pulley, inclined plane, screw and wedge. Depending upon the position of the fulcrum, effort and load, lever can be of 3 types: first class lever, second class lever and third class lever. Pulley can be fixed or movable.